Hi, hello, welcome to Devon Monk's Works and World. We are on Monday, Monk 81, I think, if I'm on the right track here. And I want to thank you for spending a little time with me here today. I hope your week is going fantastic so far. And yeah, thanks for being here. I'm going to cover the basics as I usually do, and might end up pulling a little note out of our wooden heart at the end here for a little more to talk about. So let's just dig right in. How are things going with writing? It's going well. I have gone through Nursery Crimes, which is the book that I am releasing chapter by chapter on my Patreon. I'll put a link to my Patreon down below if you want to go take a look at the tiers that I have available there. And the thing about Nursery Crimes, I know I've talked about this a lot recently, is that I wrote it so long ago that I've had to kind of refresh the whole story in my mind. And I am finding that how I handled story, how I approached it back in the day when I wrote Nursery Crimes is quite different than how I approach it now. So there's going to need to be a lot of cutting. There's a couple subplots that just need to get thrown right out. I'm going to lose, well, not lose, but I'm going to cut out thousands and thousands of words to make this book work. And I'm going to have to rewrite quite a few thousand words. So we'll see how that goes. And I was doing my note taking to make sure that I knew how the old version of the book played out, so that when I go in and start messing with it, as I have been, but I'm deep enough into it now that I need to keep track, I can see what I had in there before and had some ideas for where I need to go now. It's kind of a mess, but I'm enjoying the process and I'm enjoying sharing it on Patreon. And so far, I've had some good response. So I think it's a good project to be working on. How is knitting going? Fantastic. I'm working on that puppet. I already knit the puppet once and it was too small and didn't really work. So I'm knitting it again and now I may have made it too large. We'll see. I'm going to put it together probably, maybe even today, I'm not sure, and test it out. And if it's too large, then I have to undo it and, or undo at least part of it, reknit that part and then re-put it together. We'll see. We'll see how that all goes. But at the moment, it's just pieces of random knit things that are kind of look like a mess. So knitting is going fine. I haven't started the toy for October yet. I do have the toy for September that will be going out in my newsletter that was supposed to be September's newsletter, but I just blew it. I didn't get it out in September. So I'm going to put it out. A newsletter is coming out either today or tomorrow. So look at your inboxes or your spam boxes. Newsletters go to spam boxes so often, because if you won this little vampire bat, or if you won the dinosaur, that'll be in the newsletter. So look for it because it's either coming out today or tomorrow. So I'm pretty sure I can get it out on one of these 2 days. So anyways, in knitting, I need to finish the puppet and I need to start a new toy. So that's that. Okay, now see, I've spent a whole 3 minutes talking. The last thing is, how's it going in Monk World? It's going well. I did crawl back into the attic and put, we did the repair. My husband did the repair on the lights, and I went in there and rearranged the things that we had in the attic. And that was an interesting thing to do because this is a new attic space for us in that we haven't ever had flooring on it so that we could store totes in it. And we just did that like a couple years ago. And mostly we just put in our holiday decorations and like some rugs, some runners that we had that we didn't want to get rid of yet, and like some summer fans, not a lot of stuff. But in doing that, in moving things around, I ended up moving around a couple other things. And one of the things I ran across was a big tote that I had back when we had wildfire warnings. It was, I think, 2 years ago or maybe 3 years ago. A lot of Oregon was on fire and our sky was bright red and the smoke was miserable. You couldn't go outside. It was claustrophobic. It was awful. I really hated that. But we were not, I think we were on not standby, but they were saying, get ready. We weren't going to have to evacuate, but there was a lot of places around us that were having to evacuate. And so I kind of did a quick bug out through the house. Like, what are the things that I want to have us be able to grab real quick and throw into the car if we have to evacuate? And so I had thrown all of our photos into a tote, and I'm talking just piles of random piles of photos. And this is back when we were doing disposable cameras and actual film cameras and that sort of thing. Any of our photos that we've been taking since we've had cell phones, most of those aren't printed at all. So, of course, I would have grabbed those by taking my tower of my computer and my laptops. And of course, some of them are stored in cloud storage and all that stuff. I really need to sort through photos. But anyways, I had this tote of photos that were from years and years ago, from when my children were small, even before then, before they were born. And I was looking through some of those photos because I was looking for something specific, and I realized that one, I need to sort those photos because there's just no reason for them just to be in a lump. They need to go either to the people who are in the photos, or I need to create a little memory box and write on the back of them who they are. Duplicates can be getting rid of, or if there's two people in the photo, give, the photo to those two people, that kind of stuff. But also in those photos was a lot of things like just black, smeary, poorly developed film. Like you can't even tell that there was anything on the film, just like it's a black fuzzy looking picture. It's just like somebody printed out, the inside of a Muppet mouth. Like there's just nothing discernible at all on the photo. And yet I kept those in duplicate. And so I was sorting through here and I'm like, oh, there's a baby picture. Oh, there's a picture of a family trip. Oh, there's a picture of a holiday event or something. And then there's like, oh, there's a black blurry thing that you can't even tell that it's anything on the photo. And I went to put it in the keep pile. Why? Why did I do that? And then I stopped because I have watched a couple of decluttering YouTube channels. And one of them is not so much, it is a decluttering channel, but it's also kind of inspired by the gentle art of Swedish death cleaning, which is getting rid of stuff that you don't want to leave for other people to have to muck through once you've passed away, and also living more simply so you don't feel like you have to muck through a bunch of stuff as the years go on, right? So in one of their videos, it's a woman who has done the Swedish death cleaning through her house, and she's been doing it for, several years. It's not something that you do in one moment. It's just kind of a way of thinking, getting rid of stuff that you don't need. That's really all it is. It's decluttering. But she got her mom into it too, and her mom was very resistant and didn't want to do it. But her mom got into it and really got into it. But they decided to tackle photos in one of the videos that I watched, and I had never seen anybody talk about how to declutter photos, because photos feel very precious. They are a snap in time, right? You can't get that time back. And one of the ways that they tackled the photos, which I really thought was great, is if it was a photo that was a duplicate, so let's say 7 pictures of the same sunset, like choose 1 or 2 that are your favorite pictures of that sunset and, label it sunset over wherever, and then let the rest go, because what you've done is kind of distilled it down to the favorite sunsets. Or what they did is her mother and she, as a child, did a lot of the same family vacation. They went to the same place, and so they had a lot of the same photos of the same thing year after year. So like it was an event that they went to every year, and they like always took photos of the same part of the same event. And those were so standard that they could just pick a couple of those instead of, have 14 or 15 of the same whatever, I don't know what it was, but like a signpost or something. And so it made me look at my photos and think like, I have a lot of ocean wave photos because we've gone to the ocean a lot, and I need to just pick some and not all of them and label on the back when they came from. I had photos of people who are no longer a part of my life, and I don't think they want the photos, and it's not a precious thing. It's just kind of a blurry, smudgy in the background. I have better pictures of those people that I can keep. The blurry, smudgy in the background photos could go. They could get thrown out. But this is such a weird thought for me, throwing out photos, because again, they feel precious. They feel irreplaceable, and throwing anyone away. Even like I have some double exposed photos where somebody's head is where their feet should be and their feet is where their head should be. And and maybe it's two different people from two different events because probably I had opened the back of the camera and rolled the film and put it back down or something. So like, but those, unless it's a particularly good version of somebody's head above their feet or feet above their head, those could go too. There's no need for those because I have better pictures of those people. I probably have better pictures of those events. And so I threw a couple photos away. And it feels weird saying that, but there were some photos that, like, there was literally one that was black and it had two white squares that were obviously a window, but that's it. You couldn't see through the window. It was just two white squares on a black photo, and it wasn't any, I couldn't even tell you where it was taken. I don't even know if I took it or if somebody else took it, but it was literally just two squares on a black. If I had taken this on my cell phone, I would have deleted it. And seeing it on film, on actual printed film, makes it somehow feel like I couldn't throw it away. It's me. I don't know that anybody else feels this way. But I did. I threw it away and I felt really good about it. And I want to go through the rest of the photos and do that. Just like get rid of the duplicates and throw away the blurry old things and just have some nice photos that really are memories that are irreplaceable that I want to keep. And I should actually scan those and make sure that they're digital too, so that I have a digital copy. And I suppose I should take some of my digitals and actually print those so I have a print copy because, yeah, apparently, it's precious stuff. I get that. But I want to encourage you, if you have some old photos and maybe you have a few that are blurry and out of focus and you have a better photo of that thing that you've kept and you kept the blurry one, just get rid of the blurry ones. I didn't do a big dent into the photos because I wasn't looking to declutter my photos. So I was just sort of sorting for something, but now I'm going to dig into that project and I am going to do it with an eye toward, giving photos to who is in the photo, keeping some photos for myself, for my memories, and then also getting rid of just, the ones that don't make any sense to keep, and I don't even know why I kept them this long. Now, should I keep the negatives? I have no idea. Like, I have negatives of this film still, of all this film, because back in the day, you take it in to the store and or you sent it off in the mail, however you did it, and they would send you back your photos in duplicate if you paid for that, and they would send you your negatives back. And I don't know what to do with those negatives. I don't know if I should keep them. Who knows? Who knows? I got to figure that part out too. If you have an idea, let me know down below. Have you dealt with your photos yet? Like, I went through our CDs and tried to match them all up in cases, but I haven't gotten rid of the CDs yet. Those are still cluttering up. But now I have photos that I want to think about. How do I manage those? Do you manage your photos? Have you done digital to print or have you done print to digital? Got any good ideas for me? Put them down below and I would love to hear them. And in the meantime, I hope you have a terrific week and I will see you next time. Bye for now.